Good morning, scholars. Happy Monday. I'm so excited to begin a brand new week of learning today with you all. I'm very excited because in today's learning video, you'll see that it's going to be very different from our other learning videos. We will be going on a special adventure together right after our math meeting. So keep watching to join the adventure with us. After our adventure, we will end our video by listening to our next chapter of Charlotte's Web. And then we will be all done with our video for today. Let's go ahead and get started with our math meeting. We are starting a new month today, which is the month of June. Today is Monday, June 1st, 2020. Yesterday was Sunday, May 31st, 2020. And tomorrow will be Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. Our number of the day today is 166. Let's represent this 3-digit number in different ways. The first one will be our place value form. That means we're drawing our hundreds, tens, and ones. This digit, 6, has the value of 6 because it's in the ones place. So we draw 6 ones. This digit 6, even though they're the same digit, has a different value. This digit has the value of 60 because it's in the tens place. So let's represent it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And this digit 1 has the value of 100 because it's in the hundreds place. And that's how we represent 100. Let's do expanded form. 100 plus 60 plus 6. Word form is next. We know that means writing it in words. 100 60 6. 166. And now we'll represent it in standard form, which is the way we see numbers represented most often, which sometimes we just say it's just the regular way, standard form. Now let's figure out if it's odd or even. We know that the secret to figuring this out quickly is to look at the number in the ones place, which is 6. We're going to see if they all have a partner. If no one's left out, it's even. But if one little circle is left out, that means it's an odd number. So we have one group here, second group of partners, and third. 2, 4, 6. That means none of them are left out, so it must be an even number. Let's go ahead and do plus 10 minus 10. We're going to look at the number on the tens place, which is 6. 166 plus 10 is 176. Noticing that the number in the tens place is the one that's changing when we're adding and subtracting 10. 166 minus 10 is 156. Now we'll do plus 1 minus 1, and we will look at the number in the ones place. It's the same digit as the tens place, but now they will change in the ones place. 166 plus 1 is 167. 166 minus 1 is 106. 165. We know that our next 10, when we have 10 ones and we regroup to make a new 10 stick, we will have 70. So our next 10 is 170. We have already done 166. So how many more? We already have 6. How many more days until we make a new 10 stick? I'm going to use my make 10 facts that I've already memorized. I know that when I have 6, I need 4 more to make 10. We can double check by counting on, putting 6 in our head because it's the greater number, and counting until we get to 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, it's 4. Our tape diagram has our total up here, which is 170. It's our whole. And our parts are 166 plus 4. I'm so glad that we can switch the parts when we're adding, only when we're adding. When we're subtracting the greater number, it's important that you keep the correct order. If the greater number is first, then you'll do 166 minus 4. That's important when you get to high school and it gives you 4 minus 166. You'll get that special number that will be a negative number. And we'll learn all about that in the future. So good thing now is make sure you're not switching subtraction. But when you're adding, you can switch because they'll give you the same total. So I can have 4 first and 166. But my total will still be 170. Let's add 166 in our number line. And we'll count forward by ones. 167, 168, 169. Now we'll go back to 166 and count back by ones. 165, 164, and 163. Yay! We will go ahead and start our skip counting. This is very important to continue to challenge yourself and see if you can do it independently. So your brain is ready for second grade math, so you can do it faster, and so you can start crushing your multiplication goals in maybe second grade and definitely by third grade. First, we'll do our counting by twos together. Go ahead and stand up so you can move your body and do the techno twos with us.
Feel the music, feel the beat. Everybody up on your feet. Dance and groove like I do. Count to 120 to the techno twos. Dino Stomp. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Mashed banana. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Window wiper. 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Popcorn dance. 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Cold spaghetti. 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. Rubber band. 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. Shopping cart. 62, 64, 66, 68, 70. Roly-poly. 72, 74, 76, 78, 80. To the robot. 82, 84, 86, 88, 90. Lawnmower. 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. TikTok dance. 102, 104, 106, 108, 110. Star jumps. 112, 114, 116, 118, 120. Feel the music. Feel
Woo,
the
we
beat.
did it.
Every
Let's drink a little bit of water if you need to after all that moving. Now, you're going to, when I count to 3, you'll stop the video, and on your own, you will count to 120 by 10s, then by 5s, and lastly by 25s. Get ready to count on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and come back once you're done in 1, 2, and 3. All right, welcome back. Great job, Skip, counting independently. All right, so we are getting ready to go on today's special adventure. Do you remember when we all went on a school bus to go visit Occidental College on our field trip earlier this year? Me too. It was such a fun memory with all of you, and we are going to go on a new field trip today. We will be doing it through the computer. We know that when we see or do activities online, they are virtual. So we are going to go on a virtual field trip together. Let's look at the map to try and guess where we will be going. So, right here is our planet Earth, and we see the United States here. Right here, I see Equitas Academy 3, which is our school. Here it is. Everyone say, hello, EQ3, we miss you. We are going to travel a very long way from one side of the United States to the other. In a plane, it takes 8 hours and 5 minutes to get to where we're going. As you can read, it is called the Kennedy Space Center, located in Florida. What do you think they have at the Kennedy Space Center? That's right. They have NASA. One of the NASA buildings is located in the Kennedy Space Center. And I'm so excited to be going there with you today. But we are only visiting the Kennedy Space Center because that's where we'll begin our journey. We're going to get on a spacecraft and travel to planet Mars today. I'm so excited. So go ahead and get your spacesuits ready to go so we can start our adventure. Remember, this is Miss Ortega. When I was actually in first grade, we went to a space museum and I was feeling a little sad because they ran out of the space helmets. So, got your spacesuit ready? Let's go. On today's adventure, we'll begin by meeting the astronauts who will come with us. We will prepare for liftoff into space. We'll have a writing assignment. We'll get to then explore Mars once we arrive. And we'll end with a math assignment. We are traveling in the Falcon 9. That's the name of the space rocket. This actually happened on May 30th, 2020. That was just this Saturday. So on Saturday, this really did happen. It was a very special day because it was the first time that the United States has sent um, humans to space since the year 2011. In 2011, we sent our last manned mission to space in a spacecraft that had the name of the Endeavour. When it returned to celebrate that it was our last manned mission, we had a parade all over the city of Los Angeles so that people could see the Endeavour. It made its journey all the way to the California Science Center, where you can go visit it once it is open. It was a very exciting moment, so let's take a look at the parade. There goes the Endeavour. People could see it out the window. From their houses. Have to be careful with cars and trees. This was the actual spacecraft that had just returned from space. Maybe you recognize some of these streets. Maybe your family members remember seeing the Endeavour during this parade. So it had to travel all the way to the California Science Center. They also celebrated by flying it over the sky. And I was in school when this happened, and my teacher said, "Everybody, let's go outside." And we all watched as it flew over our school. So let's take a look at what that looked like. As you can see, they had to put it on top of a larger airplane, and it flew over California and Los Angeles to again celebrate that it had been the last shuttle to travel to space. And we knew that it was going to be the last one to send humans to space for many years. It was flying really close to the ground so that people could see it very closely. Again, maybe your family members remember seeing the Endeavour flying over them that day. So that's why this is so important. We haven't sent humans to space since 2011. That's 9 years ago. And on Saturday, we sent Bob and Greg. So let's go ahead and meet our astronauts who will come with us on our journey to space. Everyone say, hello, Bob and Greg.
What do you love? Are super experienced. They have many years behind them. They're two people who've been to space.
So they've both been to space
before. I did
before.
fly on the space shuttle previously. I flew a couple of missions. I went to space station, did a lot of assembly, spacewalks.
And they're both waving.
I flew on STS-135, the last shuttle flight, and then before that STS-127, which was an assembly flight.
We go pretty far back. You know, we were hired in the same astronaut class back in 2000, so going on 2 decades, which is, I guess we're called maybe the senior astronauts at this point. And
Old guys. Never flown in space together, and that's what's really exciting.
Bob and Doug actually met their wives in that same astronaut class. So they're both married to astronauts, and they both were even in each other's weddings.
Wow, that's amazing. They were both classmates in the same class 20 years ago. And their wives were in the same class as well. So they're both married to women astronauts. Hello, Bob. Hello, Doug. These 2 astronauts were the ones who were flying in the Falcon 9 this Saturday. And right now, as you're watching this video, they are in space. So this is where we'll travel. This is like our school bus. The Falcon 9 is this rocket, but we as astronauts are going to sit in the top part that is called the Dragon. This is the part of the spacecraft that actually is in space right now. The other part of the Falcon 9 has already landed back on Earth. It gives us the power to break through Earth's atmosphere. You may remember that an atmosphere is a layer of gases that surround a planet. The gases stay in place because of gravity. Gravity keeps the gases from leaving into space. So it helps keep it in place and it protects our planet. It takes a lot of energy to be able to break through Earth's atmosphere, which is why we need this part of the rocket. The Falcon 9 rocket and the Dragon are so special because this is the first time that a rocket ship is reusable. Remember, the prefix re means again, and the root word is use. That means that we can use this spacecraft again, and that's never been done before. So think about this. Let's say you needed a car to drive to the store. It takes a lot of people to build the car, a lot of money to buy the pieces, to make the car, and then it takes a lot of money to buy the car and be able to use it. And so you finally build it and you spend a lot of money to buy it and you drive it to the store. Once you get there, you have to throw it away. It doesn't work anymore. That's how our spacecrafts were. You could only use them once, then they didn't work anymore. So we have to spend more money building a new spacecraft, and it was taking so much time and so many resources. But now, with the Falcon 9 and the Dragon, we can use it again. So we're going to save so much time and money that more and more people will hopefully be able to start exploring space now that it is available. That's another reason why this liftoff is so exciting. So let's get ready. We're in our suits. We have to drive over to the Falcon 9 rocket. So let's get our drive on.
Again, I was perusing all of the different newspapers and stories online, and
there's Bob and Doug waving to everyone, saying goodbye. Everyone's cheering.
Small crowd with big cheers.
Now we're walking over to
NASA
the car.
astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, Doug on the left, Bob on the right, waving to the crowd there to cheer them on.
They're saying goodbye to their sons and their wives.
There are their families.
Are you going to listen to mommy and make her life easy? Just like this candle, I agree. Launch America!
Here we go.
Forward countdown 1 in 3 hours, 19 minutes. Crew walkouts in progress.
Connected to the suit to provide cooling air to the astronauts while they're on the way to the pad. Those Falcon wing doors are closing. Super sleek.
A rapid departure to ensure they get up there safely and back home safely for their families.
And let's drive to the Falcon spacecraft.
As a parent, I appreciate that.
See that ball.
All right, so now we drove to the Falcon 9. Now, this this is a really big rocket. We need to get to the Dragon part because that's where we're going to be sitting. So let's start making our way to the top. And get ready for launch.
My playlist if I was in there. There they are, taken in the sight, craning to see the top of the Falcon 9 rocket. It's 230 feet tall if you round up, and then Crew Dragon is another 27 feet from the bottom of the trunk to the top of the nose cone. So really hard to describe just how large it is.
Look at them getting excited. They're ready to get in the vehicle, get in the elevator, and make it to the top.
The flight room and its ingress is in progress on schedule.
Make sure you get your seatbelts on.
Just listening into the nets and hearing those updates live. And as they climb into Dragon, they will buckle themselves in and attach their umbilicals to their suits. And as you can see, the suit techs are there to help them get buckled and settled into those seats.
Air and sea space are clear. We hear helicopter go by from time to time. The big concern is weather forecast.
Clear, umbilical comm check complete. Stand by for ground station comm check.
We're in it now.
Yeah,
There's the Falcon 9. Here's the Dragon.
they're doing these comm checks, these communication checks. So Bob and Doug are going to do a series of these checkouts with the teams out.
Now we need to make sure that we can communicate with the scientists
On the ground,
On
both
the
the
ground.
core here in Hawthorne.
So we're gonna
Dragon,
say
SpaceX, comm check, ground stations.
SpaceX Dragon, loud and clear.
Miss Ortega, loud and clear.
Core, loud and clear. Ground station comm check complete. Stand by. Dragon, SpaceX, comm check, Tejas.
Great. They can hear us down
SpaceX Dragon, loud and clear.
on the
Core, loud and clear. Tejas, comm check complete. Stand by with comm checks with MD and LD in the launch configuration.
MD Dragon, loud and clear.
So we had to make sure that they could hear us and make sure all the scientists could hear us down at the space stations on the ground because we need to communicate as we're driving. So everyone say your name and say loud and clear. Miss Ortega, loud and clear. Great. Now we're ready for liftoff. Get ready to count down as we make our way to outer space.
10, 9, 8,
8, 7, 6,
5,
4,
3,
2,
2, 1, 0.
liftoff.
Ignition.
Liftoff as the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
So this is really happening. This
America
happened
has
on
launched.
Saturday, May
So rise to
30th.
the new era of American spaceflight, and with it the ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We gotta make sure we're breaking through the atmosphere. Remember, once we do the Falcon 9,
Plus 30 seconds into this
Break
historic mission. Flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9, and look at them go. And we have Miko.
Miko.
2 Alpha.
this is
Falcon
the
stage
Falcon
separation
9.
confirmed.
It fell down. It's coming back
Falcon
down
2
to
Alpha.
Earth. This is the Dragon that's keeping its journey to space.
Impact ignition.
A little over 4 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight. Bob and Doug flying at more than 5,600 miles per hour.
nominal trajectory.
All right.
Successfully landed.
And there you can see on your screen, Falcon 9 has landed. This is the first Falcon 9 to carry humans to orbit, so very exciting for us. And as you can see on your right screen, Bob and Doug are still making their way to their targeted orbit.
M1D to recovery 1.
So exciting today.
It doesn't stop.
It does not stop.
And here
All right.
all the scientists down on Earth in the space station watching us. So remember, this part broke off once it went past the atmosphere, came back down to Earth safely, and the Dragon continues its journey. We are right now traveling in the Dragon in outer space. What is this? A dinosaur in space? Do you think there's dinosaurs in space? Let's see.
Stowaway on board our vehicle when we launched today. It was
There it
not
is.
just Doug and I who accomplished the launch here. We do have an Apatosaurus aboard. We
An
both have two boys
Apatosaurus.
who are super interested in dinosaurs. And we collected up all the
Why is
dinosaurs
it
between the
floating?
two houses, and
Oh,
Trimmer,
that's
the
right.
Apatosaurus,
Because there's
got the
very,
vote from the
very
boys to
tiny
make the
amounts
trip
of
into
gravity in
today
space.
with us.
Almost
and so that's,
zero gravity. So
was a
it
super cool
is
thing for us to
floating.
get a chance to do for both of our sons, who I hope are super excited to see their toys floating around with us.
That is amazing. If you could bring one thing with you on your journey to space, what would it be? So now we're going to begin our writing assignment. You will need your journal and a pencil. We are going to write a letter to Bob and Doug. So let's see how we're going to do it. When you're writing your letter, you can use this picture to help you make sure that you include all the parts of a letter. The first one is the heading, which is just the date on the right-hand corner, like this, June 1st, 2020. Then you will add your greeting on the left side. You need to make sure it starts with a capital letter, and you capitalize the names because they are proper nouns. We're writing our letter to Bob and Doug. So I said, Dear Doug and Bob. In your greeting, you always end with a comma, so you want to make sure you have a comma after the name. Next, you're going to write your body. You want to include these three things. Tell them who you are, ask them a question about space that you're curious about, and make sure you wish them luck on their journey to space. So I said, Hi astronauts, my name is Ms. Ortega. I am a first grade teacher at EQ3 in Los Angeles. Check. When you visit space, can you tell me if you can see Mars? When do you think we can visit Mars? Questions check. Good luck during your space travels. Check. Now I'm done with my body and I need to do the closing. And when you sign your own name, notice that you write your friend first and then the name underneath. Your friend, comma, Miss Ortega. Don't forget your commas after the greeting and the closing. The greeting and the closing. Once you're done, take a picture and just turn it into your class dojo. Got it. Can't wait to see all of your letters to Bob and Doug. So Bob and Doug are traveling to the International Space Station. This space station is in space right now. It is as big as one football field, and it is a place where astronauts can live, study, and learn, and do different experiments as they are learning new things in their lab. Right now, there are already astronauts waiting for Bob and Doug. So this morning, or yesterday morning on Sunday, May 31st, they arrived. So let's watch them as they arrive to the International Space Station. There is the Dragon attaching to the space station, and Bob and Doug are getting their stuff ready so they can go inside. There are the scientists on the ground watching them, and oh, there's the dinosaur. Do you see it?
Station Houston, we're ready for another voice check. We are in 8.3 for both SpaceX and Houston. Dragon 3 for both SpaceX and Houston.
These are the astronauts that were already sleeping and currently living in the International Space Station. So these are people that were already in space.
And with that, Endeavour, welcome to the International Space Station. Please come aboard.
And Bob and Doug are coming in from the Dragon.
We have Bob Behnken from SpaceX Demo 2 mission entering the International Space Station.
And hi, Doug.
Followed by Doug Hurley.
Everyone's saying hello. So happy to see each other. It took them 19 hours to get there. They must be so tired. So we've made it
to the crew on the International Space Station.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of all the teams that participated in this mission, from Hawthorne to Houston to Mission Control to the Kennedy Space Center, this is Mission Control Houston.
They're in this International Space Station right now. They have all these cameras set up. That is amazing. I'm glad they made it safe. After the space station, let's start our journey to Mars. Let's meet some of the Mars rovers. Mars is the only planet where we have been able to send rovers there. We send them so that they can gather information to help us and the scientists here on Earth learn more about Mars. The first rover that was ever sent landed in July 1997, called the Sojourner. That might not be how you say it, but I'm just sounding it out. Sojourner rover. And its goal was just to be the first wheeled robot to make it. The second and third rovers that we sent got there on January 2004. This is the Spirit and Opportunity rovers. They were looking for clues and ways to prove that there was water on Mars. Right now we're going to go visit the Curiosity rover in Mars. It's the one that's there right now. It got there in August 2012, and it has been gathering pictures and collecting rock samples to see if there was any water on Mars now or in the past. And we just sent a new rover in 2020, and it's gonna arrive next year in February 2021. This is the Perseverance rover. It's there looking for, again, more signs of past or present life. And it's gonna see if humans could go and explore Mars one day. So let's get ready to explore our red planet. Here's the Curiosity rover, and we're gonna see it right now.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Main engine start, 0, and liftoff of the Atlas V with Curiosity.
That's the spacecraft that took the Curiosity over to Mars. It traveled 352 million miles. It took 8 months to get there, and it finally landed. There it is, we're landing. Welcome to Mars, everybody. Say hi, Curiosity rover. Camera ready. Every time it takes pictures, it helps us learn more about the
Hi,
planet.
I'm Katie, NASA JPL research scientist on the Curiosity mission. Welcome to Mars.
Right, so we've made it. Mars is a very cold and desert world. It's about half the size of Earth. It's sometimes known as the red planet because of the red color. It looks red because of the rusty iron dust that's on the ground. gives it its reddish color. Because it's red, what do you think the weather is in Mars? Sometimes I think that red means hot. Sometimes people think that Mars is hot, but it's actually a very cold planet. It has seasons just like we do on Earth. There's polar ice caps, there's volcanoes, but none of the volcanoes are active right now. And they also have canyons and different types of weather like we do here. Earth has a very thick atmosphere, which remember are layers of gas around it, and Mars has a very thin atmosphere. Let's learn more about the Curiosity rover.
There are 7 different cameras on Curiosity's mast, 2 pairs of black and white navigation cameras, 2 color mast cams, and ChemCam, which uses a powerful laser to vaporize small pieces of rock from up to 7 meters away. ChemCam captures and analyzes the flash of that vaporization to measure the rock's chemical makeup.
Ooh, that's amazing. No wonder we get so many images. Let's look at the body.
Curiosity's 2 large analytical instruments inside its chassis can analyze rock, soil, and atmosphere samples. These measurements help unlock the history of Mars, revealing that Mars would have been habitable in the ancient past and also had the basic ingredients for life.
That is amazing. It's like it has its own lab inside where they can collect the sample and analyze it. And let's look at its arms.
Curiosity's robotic arm contains various instruments to measure rock and soil composition, brush dust away from rocks, take imagery, and even drill into rocks.
That is amazing. Let's go ahead and look at the
Some areas
map.
are
Let's find it. Uh-oh. Is it over here? This way. Map. We are right here where we landed. Let's go to the Pahrump Hills. These pictures were taken in 2015. Let's go to Mount Sharp and learn about it.
Pahrump Hills is at the base of Mount Sharp, a major objective for Curiosity. From orbit, we have seen layers of minerals reaching from the floor of Gale Crater to the foothills of Mount Sharp. By climbing up the slope layer by layer, Curiosity can reveal clues about the history of Mars and its potential ability to support life.
So we really believe that we can support life. We found remains of what could have been bodies of water, and we keep sending these rovers to just know more information about if there's still living things on Mars, or if we could support life now or in the future. We know that there were lots of signs of ancient floods, so there was water at some point, and there's a little bit of water now. They have icy dirt and really thin clouds. So let's go to the Marias Pass. These pictures were also taken in 2015. Let's see what we can find here.
Curiosity spent all of June 2015 parked in this spot.
Wow, so all of June it was just right here taking pictures.
This target is named Buckskin. A sample drilled here showed high levels of silica, which could be promising for preserving organic material. It also showed traces of the mineral trudamite, which was left behind by volcanic activity.
So there was an active volcano there. We know that there could be life. So this is a selfie.
Curiosity took this selfie here in August 2015. Observations like this are used to monitor dust deposits, wear on the rover's wheels, and other signs of aging.
So sometimes it takes selfies, which are pictures of itself, so that scientists can see if they need to fix anything so that it can continue to work well. Right, let's go back to the map and go to our last stop.
The Murray Buttes are named after the late Bruce Murray, a Caltech planetary scientist and director.
So it was named after that scientist. Let's find them.
These are the Murray Buttes. Buttes are steep, knob-like rock formations. The largest one here is about as tall as a 3-story building. These buttes served as Curiosity's entryway to its main destination, Mount Sharp. These buttes are similar to ones you'd find on Earth, formed when wind erodes ancient sandstone. Scientists have compared the region to Monument Valley.
Very awesome. Here we are on top of the buttes. And we're all done. Everyone say goodbye, Mars. We are going to do our math assignment now. Again, you'll need your journal and a pencil. We're going to do an out of this world problem. So in your journal, you'll show your work, circle your answer, take a picture, and turn it into your class dojo. Let's close our eyes and make a mind movie of our problem. The Curiosity rover took 42 pictures of Mars on Monday, 30 pictures on Tuesday, and 34 pictures on Wednesday. How many pictures did it take altogether? Go ahead and solve, and remember to turn in a picture of your work in your portfolio. We're all done with our field trip today. It is time to go back home. I hope you had a lot of fun traveling together. Okay, now we're going to do the last thing of our learning video today, which is read chapter 12 of Charlotte's Web. This chapter is called A Meeting. Remember that you are really practicing the skill of visualizing. That means you're listening carefully to the words as I read, and you're trying to make a mind movie of what is going on. So let's get started. Chapter 12, A Meeting. One evening, a few days after the writing had appeared in Charlotte's Web, the spider called a meeting of all the animals in the barn cellar. I shall begin by calling the roll. Wilbur? Here, said the pig. Gander? Here, 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 said the gander. You sound like 3 ganders, muttered Charlotte. Why can't you just say here? Why do you have to repeat everything? It's my idiosyncrasy, replied the gander. Goose, said Charlotte. Here, 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 said the goose. Charlotte glared at her. Goslings, 1 through 7. Said the goslings. This is getting to be quite a meeting, said Charlotte. Anybody would think we had 3 ganders, 3 geese, and 21 goslings. Sheep? Yeah, answered the sheep all together. Lambs? Yeah, answered the lambs all together. Templeton? No answer. Templeton? No answer. Well, we are all here except the rat, said Charlotte. I guess we can start without him. Now, all of you must have noticed what's been going on around here the last few days. The message I wrote in my web, praising Wilbur, has been received. The Suckermans have fallen for it, and so has everybody else. Suckerman thinks Wilbur is an unusual pig, and therefore he won't want to kill him and eat him. I dare say my trick will work, and Wilbur's life can be saved. Hooray! Cried everybody. Thank you very much, said Charlotte. Now, I have called this meeting in order to get suggestions. I need new ideas for the web. People are already getting sick of reading the words, some pig. If anyone can think of another message or remark, I'll be glad to weave it into the web. Any ideas for a new slogan? Why is Charlotte holding a meeting? That's right. She wants everyone to give her ideas of what she can write next in the web. Let's see what ideas they come up with. How about Pig Supreme? Asked one of the lambs. No good, said Charlotte. It sounds like a rich dessert. How about Terrific, Terrific, Terrific? Asked the goose. Cut that down to one terrific and it will do very nicely, said Charlotte. I think terrific might impress Suckerman. But Charlotte, said Wilbur, I'm not terrific. That doesn't make a particular of difference, replied Charlotte. Not a particle. People believe almost anything they see in print. Does anybody here know how to spell terrific? I think, said the gander, it's T-double-E-double-R-double-I-double-F-double-I-double-C-C-C-C. What kind of an acrobat do you think I am? Said Charlotte in disgust. I would have to have Saint Vitus dance to weave a word like that into my web. Oh, sorry, said the gander. Then the oldest sheep spoke up. I agree that there should be something new written in the web if Wilbur's life is to be saved. And if Charlotte needs help in finding words, I think she can get it from our friend Templeton. Before we move on, what is the problem that they're facing right now? That's right. They want to spell the word terrific on the web, but nobody can spell it. What are some strategies that you would tell them to use when they need to spell a challenging word? Yeah, I might tell them to sound it out carefully or to look on their word wall. So they're going to try to find a resource with Templeton. But we know Templeton's not a really great friend. So let's see what's going to happen. The rat visits the dump regularly and has access to old magazines. He can tear out bits of advertisements and bring them up here to the barn cellar so that Charlotte can have something to copy. Ooh, so they're going to use their resources. Good idea, said Charlotte, but I'm not sure Templeton will be willing to help. You know how he is, always looking out for himself, never thinking of the other fellow. I bet I can get him to help, said the old sheep. I'll appeal to his baser instincts, of which he has plenty. Here he comes now. Everybody, keep quiet while I put the matter up to him. The rat entered the barn the way he always did, creeping along close to the wall. What's up? He asked, seeing the animals assembled. We're holding a director's meeting, replied the old sheep. Well, break it up, said Templeton. Meetings bore me. And the rat began to climb a rope that hung against the wall. Look, said the old sheep, next time you go to the dump, Templeton, bring back a clipping from a magazine. Charlotte needs new ideas so she can write messages in her web and save Wilbur's life. Let him die, said the rat. I should worry. You'll worry all right when next winter comes, said the sheep. You'll worry all right on a 0 morning next January, when Wilbur is dead and nobody comes down here with a nice pail of warm slobs to pour into the thurrow. Wilbur's leftover food is your chief source of supply, Templeton. You know that. Wilbur's food is your food. Therefore, Wilbur's destiny and your destiny are closely linked. If Wilbur is killed and his burrow stands empty day after day, you'll grow so thin we can look right through your stomach and see objects on the other side. Templeton's whiskers quivered. Maybe you're right, he said gruffly. I'm making a trip to the dump tomorrow afternoon. I'll bring back a magazine clipping if I can find one. Thanks, said Charlotte. The meeting is now adjourned. How are the animals able to get Templeton to help Charlotte? That's right. They had to tell Templeton how, if something happened to Wilbur, then no one would bring him any more food. And that means that Templeton would no longer be able to eat his food, so he would also grow very hungry and weak. If something happened to Wilbur, then he would no longer be fed. What does that say about Templeton? Yeah, Templeton is very selfish. They had to tell him how it was going to affect him if something happened to Wilbur. I have a busy morning ahead of me. I've got to tear my web apart and write terrific. Wilbur blushed. But I'm not terrific, Charlotte. I'm just about average for a pig. You're terrific as far as I'm concerned, replied Charlotte sweetly. And that's what counts. You're my best friend. And I think you're sensational. Now stop arguing and go get some sleep. We are all done with our chapter, and that means we're finished our learning video for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Can't wait to see everyone soon. Goodbye.